Welcome back guys to my channel again, and in today's video I want to talk about how I keep this planted tank in this kind of shape and which products I use to keep it in that shape. But before we do that, I want to thank you guys for all the support I have, and for every subscriber I have. It means a lot to me, and I didn't even believe that I would get so many subscribers so fast. So thank you very much guys. Keep liking my videos, please subscribe, and let's get into it. So first product I want to talk about is this Flourish XL. I already talked about it previously in my videos, but this stuff is very great because it's CO2 in liquid form, and it's not very cheap, but in my opinion, for me it's cheaper to buy this than actual CO2, because providing actual CO2 for this kind of tank is very expensive because you need a lot of it, and it's just not worth it. And this stuff is great of getting rid of beard algae and just supplying your plants with some nutrients. Okay, the next product that I want to talk about is comes from Tropica. This is very good stuff. I use it most of the time on this planted tank. It's specialized nutrition for plants, of course, but this one is for heavily planted tanks. So it's very good when I have so many different plants in here, and it's very dense. Like you see here, there's not even much room to fit any other plants at this point. So this stuff is good. I use 7 pumps on the 36-gallon tank, and if you have like a 25 to 30 gallon, you can use 5 pumps. And this stuff is expensive too, but it's very good. If you guys are interested, I can let you know where you can buy these guys. And the other product I want to talk about is just this one. It's Nutrafin Plant Grow. It's this stuff is very good because it has all the micronutrients and essential nutrients that you need for the plants. But I used to use it before. I bought this Tropica one, but to be honest, comparing these two products, I'd say the Tropica, especially for the heavy planted tanks, is much better. But of course, if you cannot get your hands on this guy, then this one is available in most of the Petcos, I believe, and Petlands. Depends where you live in United States or Canada. So, but this stuff is very good too, and it helps a lot with the plants. And of course, like you see here in my planted tank, I have a lot of different variety of plants. I have Amazon sword, I have moss, I have some moss balls, some other stuff, actually a few Anubias plants around, and some water Viesta as well, and much more. Like, I cannot even name all of them because some of them I bought not even named, and some of them I bought from Tropica, so I'm not too sure even the name of all of my plants. But in general, the plants are doing just insane in here. And like you see, I don't even have any algae problems at all at this tank. Like, I'm not even, this is insane because there's so many live plants and they compete with the algae, and this tank is crystal clear most of the time, and it's all thanks to the products I use. And sometimes actually I change the water for this tank especially once a week, even though I can probably go 3 weeks to a month without changing water, especially on the planted tank. But I just like to keep it always fresh, and make it a very safe environment and good environment for the fish. And this is perfect filtration because the plants are filtration by itself, plus, like I talked previously in my videos, I have pretty powerful filter on this tank, plus a sponge filter, so I have all stages of filtration. And yeah, this is pretty cool. What else is cool about this tank? Like, oh, and what you want to do is, like in this tank, I don't really trim it down that much. I usually let it grow out till the top, and when it reaches the top, that's when I start to trim down the plants, just because I like to give the plants a lot of chances to reach their potential height, especially in this tall tank. This tank is good for plants because it's it's taller than and it's not that super wide. It's still wide, but I mean it's very tall for the plants. Like you don't want to buy anything that's very wide and long, and then you cannot grow plants. Well, you can still grow them, but you won't be able to. You will have to trim them down very often. But I usually trim the plants down about halfway. Sometimes I even take some plants out of this tank completely, because they're just, especially these guys, they grow like crazy. Like you see, they're all around my tank. And check out the root system on here. Like the roots are all over the place. And another thing that you want to use, I've almost forgot, is the substrate. Some plants don't require, they don't take their nutrients from the substrate, but just they take them from the water itself. But most of the plants need some sort of nutrients from the substrate, so they can grow and be healthy. So what I use here is Fluval Stratum. This stuff is great because, first of all, it looks awesome, and second of all, it's one of the best substrates out there, in my opinion. And like you see here, this is a perfect example of what it can do to your tank in the future if you have one of those guys in your tank, because it just has so many good beneficial nutrients, and plus if you add more nutrients to the tank, it will just explode with plants and life. But usually there's a bunch of substrates out there as well which you can use, but this is the one I use, and that's why I only want to talk about this one, because I'm not too sure about the other ones. I just heard lots of good things about it before I was buying it. It's on the expensive side, but in my opinion it's worth it. But don't mix it with any other substrate. That's not recommended at all, because for some reason it's either the substrate is losing its nutrients, or it won't give the full potential to your plants if you're gonna mix it with some other substrate. So just better to keep it the way it is. And also, in my opinion, it's the best substrate for shrimps. If you want to have a planted only and shrimp tank, then this stuff is great, because the shrimp color will pop out on this substrate, and in general it will just look very nice, especially if you want to have ghost shrimps, because ghost shrimps are crystal clear, and this black substrate will just make them pop out much more than regular substrate. Yeah guys, and if you have any more questions or anything else that you want to ask me of how do I keep this tank in this shape, please leave a comment down below, and I will of course answer to all of you guys. And thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a good day guys, bye. Just forgot, just a quick update on my on my dog. He's just chilling right now because he had a very busy day today. We went for a 2-hour walk in the park, and he enjoyed it a lot. And it's actually very snowy and cold where I live, so he was doing a lot of exercise today. And like you see, he's just taking a quick nap before we go to sleep. Yeah, he's very cool. I like him. Topic. Okay guys, see ya.